Good day, everyone. Well, as far as I'm concerned, of flattening tins, I've seen many sites like on YouTube or the internet or any other place that you require and say, give me a tin flattening tool. Now, the majority of what I saw is basically like a frame, and then there's a flat piece and then a handlebar, and basically you pull the handlebar down and then it crushes the tin. The only downside about those things are that, number one, the tin is like, let's say it's this length, and then it basically crushes it to that length, which in my prospect is absolutely useless because the amount of tins that you can put in a bag is very limited. Now, as far as me myself goes, I use a different tool altogether. I am not 100% sure what's it called. It's probably called a concrete breaker because it's a tool that has a very high impact rate ratio. And nowadays, concrete breakers is basically an electric or a compressor machine, which is understandable because we're living in 2024 nowadays. So they want to make work go quite quickly. Now, as far as the concrete breaker, which I am referring to, is directly here. You see this pole. It's 1150 millimeters in length, and then at the end of this pole you'll find that there's this weight. There we go. Now you have these plate or these blade bars, four of them on each side, and then you have this solid weight of broadness and then a slightly less broadness. These are round, as you can see. They're 100% round. So like I said, the weights are quite heavy, and then you just press down on the tin and then they'll be flattened. So I'll give you a demonstration as towards how that's done. Right, so as far as the tin or the surface which I use to crush the tins with is basically this. So obviously we're on the ground right now, but the surface which I use to crush it on is metal. Now this bottom piece is a part of a car gearbox, so it's most probably the clutch gear, and then this is just a round piece of flat metal. Now this very as you can see here, it just fits onto there, and if you have it on ground, the crushing method will be very ineffective. And then there's obviously several size gears of tins. You have this one, this one, and then you also have this big one. And I'll take you through by step, but as far as safety goes, I have two pieces. Obviously I have gloves, and then I also have this sound blocker, obviously because they're quite loud, and the gloves prevent me from if my hands are completely moving up and down on this pole, then the blisters in my skin wear is going to be unbelievably fast. So we're going to, or at least I am going to, wear those gloves, and then we'll crush this one first. Well, like I said before, and normally the tin crushing methods is basically a frame, and then you have big lever, and then you lever down, and then it basically crushes the tin about that broadness or that length. Normally I just swing one time down and it crushes the tin very decently. So let's do that, and then I'll show you exactly how effective this is. Right, so let's get just one swing in, and then I'll show you. And as you can see, the tin is unbelievably thinner than what a tin crusher would normally do. Normally I give it 2 whacks, but just for the purpose sake I'll only whack once. The only reason why one side is broader than the other one is because this part is slightly on a down surface, or downward left way. Now, as far as this tin goes, there's a little something I normally do with them. Is I take these tins and I put them inside that one, so that the space consumption of bags and of those sort is much lesser. Normally they take about 2 smacks, but in regards to show you effectively how effective this is, it might take a few more times. So let's show you. Yeah, 2 smacks, 2 smacks, and see how well that is. And then there's the other one, which obviously is the big tin. Now these ones I operate a little bit differently, exponentially differently, because like I showed you earlier, or maybe just now, you have these ones, and then the one that I just smacked now has a formation like this. And good and well, these slightly smaller ones can fit into this big one. So let's put these apart, and then we slip this one in here. Boop. And then we take this longer variant, slip it in there, and then we take this other one which is slipped in the first time and put it on top. The good part about this is it'll take up less space, and it'll like I said, less space, and it'll be more heavier. The downside is that it takes quite a few whacks in order to flatten it properly, so it is quite time consuming. So let's just show you how many times I hit it in order to get it flat. There we go. And here's a tin that has basically 4 tins in it. And if you can achieve this with one of those broad boxes which you have a handlebar, and then you have to pull that handlebar down just to crush one tin this broadness, it's impossible. With 4 tins you can't do it, but with the tool piece I have, you can. That's just plain proof that those tool crusher tins, as far as affordability goes, it might be possible, but as far as effectiveness, it's absolutely a money waster. So like I explained, this is solid steel of a very broad diameter, solid steel of a very long but slightly lesser diameter, these long plates for reinforcement, and then this pole that you use in order to hold it on the to these weights. But like I said, this was probably a brick or a concrete crusher. But despite that it existed, it's probably still available, but whenever you go onto the internet asking for it, it's as if it doesn't exist. So to find them, how good it is to find them, I don't know. But thankfully I have one, so I don't have to look. And for those who wants to crush tins in a very small way, but very effective, this is a very good method of doing it. And trust me, I speak out of experience, it strengthens your arm muscles. So all the best for those who wants to crush tins, and I hope you find this method a lot more successful. With all the good methods, cheers for ears.